like to thank everybody for coming to the November Town of Webb regular meeting. Please sign the attendance sheet if you haven't and turn off any cell phones, please. At this moment, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of all our veterans who have served our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The next regular meeting will be on December 9th at 7 p.m. December Audit of Claims meeting will be December 1st at 5:30 p.m. Executive session may occur this evening if deemed necessary. Correspondence, I have a letter from Supervisor Baker. Good evening, everybody. As I am currently away on vacation in Santa Fe, New Mexico, I've asked this message to be shared on my behalf. I want to take a moment to thank our community for your support over the last 4 years. It has truly been an honor to serve as your town supervisor. Together, we've accomplished so much, improving infrastructure, supporting recreation, strengthening finances, and investing in the future of the town of Webb. I'm grateful to the town board members who have worked alongside me with dedication and integrity. Collaboration, even through challenges, has allowed us to move this community forward in meaningful ways. I also want to express my appreciation to our town employees, department heads, and residents who give so much of themselves to make Webb a better place to live, work, and visit. Thank you again for the opportunity to serve. I look forward to continuing to work with all of you in the future to keep our community strong, vibrant, and welcoming. With gratitude, Bonnie Baker, Town Supervisor. And then a letter from Dr. Lister. Nancy, will you read that, please?
It says, Dear Bonnie, I want to thank you and the Town of Webb community for the very beautiful wheelchair ramp recently installed at the health center. Thanks in particular to Scott Gaffney, Bill Green, John Brosser, and the rest of the Town of Webb employees who did such a nice job. In addition, I want to express my thanks to the people of the Town of Webb for the continuous support of the health center dental office. Together with the Health and Wellness Fund, the Town of Webb has funded replacement of an x-ray machine, the dental hygiene chair. These purchases will be used in providing services to local people and visitors for many years to come. It is a privilege to work in a community where the local government, local nonprofits, and individuals work together for the greater good. Thanks again to you, the Town of Webb Town Board, and to our great community members. Sincerely, Tony Lister, DDS.
Thank you, Nancy. We have a zoning board appointment. I am looking for a motion to appoint Andy Getty to the Town of Webb Zoning Board for a term expiring on December 31st, 2026. Andy will be filling the term of Beth Pashley. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Board discussion?
Andy's back.
Andy's back.
Thanks, Andy.
Nancy, could I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Lindsay?
Aye.
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Rise.
Hauling of recyclables. Can I have a motion that the board advertise and accept bids for the hauling of recyclables for the town of Webb to the Oneida Herkimer Solid Waste Management? Specifications are on file with the town clerk. All bids shall be in the hands of the town clerk on or before December 9th, 2025 by 4 p.m. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I have a second?
I'll second it.
Then, board discussion?
Gotta be done. Yep.
Okay. Roll call vote, please, Nancy.
Councilman Hannah? Lindsay, sorry.
Aye.
Councilman Hannah?
Aye.
Councilman Greco?
Aye.
Councilman Ross?
Aye.
Rise.
All right. Councilman Hannah, do you have anything tonight?
Not much, other than I want to thank Hannah Wheaton, Casey Crowfoot, and the Highway Department, along with Bill Green and John Brosmer for putting up the hockey boards and doing the skating rink. It's going to be a good addition to the town this winter. The guys that are building mountain bike trails just finished up. Haven't been up there to look at the new trails, but I've seen some pictures and they're pretty cool. I'd like to thank the CAA for decorating the lakefront again. It's big addition to the town as always. And talked with Kevin Kress last week, and I think he said at the end of this weekend or first part of next week they're doing the inspections for the lift and the new snowmaking pumps. So hopefully we'll be good to go for winter. That's all I got.
All right, Councilman Greco.
Happy Veterans Day. Want to just take a moment to recognize that personally. I mean, I was at the library yesterday. Kudos to Linda Wheel. That was quite a gathering. There was a few folks there. Some people spoke. And then today, out in the snow across the street here at the VFW, it was more of the same. So it was, a good 24 hours, paying respects and all that. And then I just want to dive into something I've been working on for a little bit with Beaver River up here. I know Mike has been on this for years. I know Nancy's probably heard this talked about for years, and maybe some people out there have. But the whole thing scenario is just taking another turn here. There's 133 camps up in Beaver River, and this is going to take a minute. So sorry for anybody there's 133 camps up there. There's a family that's doing most of the services by utilizing a barge to transport people from the Stillwater launch area over across the way to their camps in Beaver River, and they do any work with as much as even using our town vehicles to bring those across the way to maintain the roads that are over there in Beaver River. And just a little history going back, their family has had a lodge over there since 1911. There used to be a road that would go right across the Stillwater Reservoir until they used the dam to flood the area. And then when that happened, the railroad allowed public transportation to, get over to Beaver River for access. And then that moved into the railroads no longer doing that. Vehicles came into play. And now we have, the Thompsons and the people that are living there year round. There was more people living there year round. More people have since left because it's so difficult. They were basically using the tracks to get into the rest of the town of Webb, come to Old Forge, get their kids to school. Actually went to school with both their kids at high school here at town of Webb. And they used the tracks. And basically to sum it all up, that was kind of coming to a halt. The railroad, all this talk about rail trail started to kind of grind some gears of the folks from the railroad, and it just created some issues, and that little unwritten law of using the tracks has since disappeared. So basically, as it stands right now, in November, December, this time of year, they have to get in a boat and crash through the ice to be able to get to the Stillwater area launch site to get in their vehicles to go anywhere. Rusty Thompson, who I'm speaking of, is 67 years old. His wife Ginger, they've been there forever. They run the hotel. They pretty much sustain the whole community, and the service they provide with their barge can fit 6 vehicles on it. And they bring anybody that wants a ride. They have to schedule. It takes up their whole day, and they're over it. They're tired of doing it, and they have to do that so much now because of there's no access in and out of there. So if they don't do that, they call themselves their own worst enemy. Meaning if they stop providing this service, the people in Beaver River might be fighting for just as much as they are to try and get something to occur here with like the emergency access, which I'm trying to call an easement. This is not anything to do with the rail trail. This is not anything to do with ripping up the tracks. None of that stuff. This is just about how do we get access for these folks for this whole thing. And then it got scary. I just want to read a letter. The DOT. I've dealt with the DOT in the past. I think they're really, really nice to talk to. Believe it or not, if anybody's ever dealt, they're super polite. They just do what they got to do. They try to help you if you do have an issue. And I think with this letter they wrote here, this is what happened in 2024. This is January 8th. You've been, to sum it up for the most part, you've been identified as using a personal high-rail vehicle along the Remsen Lake Placid travel corridor. Unauthorized use of the corridor jeopardizes the safety of both the authorized user and yourselves as unauthorized users. Safety is a paramount concern in railroad corridor management and requires vigilant enforcement against railroad trespassers as recognized by federal law. The rail corridor is owned by the people of the state of New York. The segment of the corridor you have access is under jurisdiction of the New York State Department of Transportation. Any and all use of the corridor must be permitted by the New York State Department of Transportation. The permit between New York State Department of Transportation and the New York State Snowmobile Association does not allow high rail use on the corridor. So that's what they've been using, the high rail, right? So they're not allowed to do that anymore is what this letter's saying. This letter hereby notifies you that in order to preserve the safety of this rail corridor, New York State Department of Transportation intends to pursue any and all remedies available to prevent future unauthorized use. Any further high rail use of the corridor will be treated as unlawful interference under Railroad Law Section 53E, which is a Class D felony. Additionally, as authorized by Railroad Law Section 83, New York State Department of Transportation will levy monetary fines against you. Accordingly, please remove any high rail vehicles or any other personal property from this rail segment if you have not already done so. Any further unauthorized use will be immediately referred to law enforcement. If you have any questions or need additional information, please contact our regional director's office. And sincerely signed, the General Counsel of New York State Department of Transportation. So just this letter, our former police chief, to deliver this letter, had a helicopter ordered to go to Beaver River. And the weather was so bad that day, they had to cancel the trip to serve these people that have been working there since 1911 on their property, trying to sustain a camp of 130, a place with 133 camps, which are now mostly seasonal besides these folks. So what did Rusty do? Who I've known him my whole life, but I've gotten to know him the last, couple months. And I went over there twice, and they're super kind people. I'm sure some of you know them. He got in his boat and he met the chief at the Stillwater. So he's basically served himself. This is kind of like he knew something was coming of the sort, and he got in his boat, went across the reservoir, and got his letter here. So there's a lot that goes into this. I totally get it. I just wanted to get this stuff on record so that people knew what was going on. They can't even come to this meeting tonight to voice their own opinion because their GPS things aren't reliable enough. When you're traveling through the reservoir, there's so many like rock quarries and stuff, like they can't risk driving their boat over to come here. So since 2024, when they got served this, they essentially have no way out, and besides taking that boat November, December through breaking through ice. January, they can get their trucks out with tracks, which is a lot to deal with. And who's going to take this over if they just decide they've had enough? Who's going to continue this barge service? Our town puts a backhoe, a dump truck, a tractor, all that stuff on top of this barge, goes over to Beaver River, and we maintain the road we have to maintain that basically is 3/4 of the way to Lowville in order to get this road maintained because it's town of Webb land. So there's so much that goes into this. It's really difficult for me, to I don't care if there's one person there. That's just how I operate, and it's a huge concern. The question, some people could say, well, why do they live there? Why don't they just move? What do you think their property's worth when you can't get there? And I'm sorry, the generation moving forward, how much boat access stuff is really going to be? People are going to be jumping at the bit for boat access property. I hope it would turn around, but I've seen some stuff. Big Moose has got, to put it in perspective, they've got less than 30 boat access only camps over there. Beaver River is 133. If they turn to boat access, do they have the road to park on like the people do at the PO dock off of Higbee into Big Moose? Will the property owners allow people to park their boats at their dock to go to their place that's maybe not on? The whole community will just fail. And I know Mike has been on this. I've just kind of wanted to come in here with some documentation so that it could be on public record. This is nothing against the Department of Transportation. Rusty will tell you firsthand the future of taking these high rail cars is not safe for anyone else that's not skilled like these Thompsons are in order to do this. So they just want to make something happen. So that moves into the next part of this thing where on railroad tracks, right? So again, railroad, if you're watching, this is nothing against pulling tracks up a rail trail. This is about literally an easement. You know, we want to talk about going to the Department of Transportation to get a permit, just like the Snowmobile Association does, or talking to the state about what they can do for us, because there's a 50-foot right of way on each side of the tracks, right? So on one side, you can just, you know, they can create a path. They even have the equipment to do it. They've offered to do it. And anytime Casey and his crew, our highway department, goes up there, they work together with Rusty, and some employees work together with Rusty, and they make things happen. They could, you know, there's equipment up there right now, just sitting. Last time I was there, sitting on the other side of the Stillwater Hotel. So the plan is 90% of this 6.5. You go up Stillwater Road, take a right, 6.5 to Beaver River through the tracks. That's what it's. It's like a snowmobile trail. There's about a mile or so of this 6.5 mile trail that is already done. So you could just go down and, you know, groom this, do whatever. It's not going to be easy, but 90% of this will fall on the right of way of the 50 foot next to the tracks. Then it gets tricky where it goes into Woods Lake land, where the train tracks go right through their property. They can't do anything about the 50 foot right if we were to continue it there, but it gets a little difficult. So it would take some work to do that. It's totally possible, but there is hopefully some conversations that can maybe be made with those folks. They have one hunting camp there, and you know, I know the privacy is a huge thing. It's far enough away from the tracks, but what's the difference between somebody using the rail car over the years or somebody using the tracks? Because interestingly enough, the Thompsons supposedly, which is not in here, can use the tracks when there's enough snow on the tracks, so they're allowed to use them, because then it becomes a trail which everybody else can use, right? Like a snowmobile trail. How do you decipher that, you know? So, anywho, I just think something needs to be figured out. Their son, Clint, who I went to school with again, is passionate about coming back here and carrying on Beaver River and all that they do. There's so many generational camp owners there. I already have an email to the Department of Transportation. I have a connection there, a person I've talked to in the past for my own personal use, and I emailed that today, this morning. I hope to hear back from them just to see where we can go from there. But I'd like to see if we can find a way to this is just to get on record, just to kind of share their story, and to let people know that, like, if we don't really act on this whole thing, it's town land, it's their land. Like, it's probably just not gonna exist for the most part, especially if they stop providing their services. You know, they bring propane trucks over. I mean, they just do whatever it is to take to sustain the whole community. So, and Mike, I don't know if you have anything. I know that was a lot, but I've been telling them, and the phone calls and the messages are great, but this stuff needs to get on record. I hope that this will accomplish that, to try and get some people to listen. And I think if they'll listen to the town of Webb, we have a better shot than listening to some property owners that within the situation that they're in. If you don't have anything on that.
I first of all, thank you for digging into it more, because certainly I have a ton of history I could add to that, but there's no need for that. Going forward is the best thing. The new chief is here tonight, and we did fly over the area because I believe he's pretty much on board with helping this situation.
Yeah.
One thing about also with the snow on the tracks, which Rusty explained to me that I haven't seen in writing, but there's also a new law that came out or something that the tracks can't be, it used to be it was from December 1st, I believe, till April 1st or whatever was snowmobile use. Now it's when there's enough snow on the tracks. They've changed a little bit of the wording, which just keep pushing a little bit about the track surface. So we got to get away from that and not use it.
They've had,
it's just going to keep getting worse.
They've had surveys done between the people of, you know, there's 133 camps, like I said. I guess they had 70 people return the survey, and 68 of them were for it. 2 of them weren't. So I mean, there's those numbers. There are 2 people who are against it. You know, who knows? People like to, you know, I understand that whole part of it, but you know, the fact that these people can't like get out of there is tough to listen to. I'd just like to see us address it in some way.
Well, it's a busy place out there in the summer and winter.
Yeah, I was in there.
Other than the off season, there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
You can't get there.
And if they stop doing what they're doing, who is going to take that over, continue? And like I said, the son who puts his kids in Lowville will come back to run the whole restaurant and do what he's very handy. He doesn't have any other job, or he's never worked other jobs. He's went to school and stuff, but he would love to continue the tradition and carry it on over there. But they don't want him to deal with the barge service because it's that much of a thing to do. They get $50 per trip. So you bring your car up there. If you give them 50, that's a great deal, in my opinion. To bring a car, not like a person. So,
If you know anything about the reservoir, it goes up and down a lot, and there's a lot of rocks in it.
And stumps.
And stumps.
yeah. And then I have I don't know if you guys are. Yeah. So I have I'll do some more research on who to talk to, who we can contact. Again, this was just for the purpose of getting it. It's an easement. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
So I can add something to that. It's like 6 years prior to the project, they had like $6 million of money sitting in there. The guy from Tartaglia actually stayed at my motel that was working, the project manager of it. And they had $6 million prior to that. When everybody was talking about the rail trail situation and all that, he kept saying, he said to me, sitting right with him, he told me at that point, people better watch what they're asking for about pulling out the rails, because they were talking about taking out all infrastructure when they did that. He kept pushing to tell people to try to put a siding alongside of it, asked for that at that time. And of course, Town of Webb said they weren't interested in going to the meetings at that point, which was kind of a shame. I had spoke with the Thompsons that year, and at that time, nobody seemed to be on board about wanting to try to put a siding on. It's kind of a shame, but maybe that's a good place to start, because Tartaglia said that the railroad people also wanted, I'm saying the companies that are working on it, a siding so they could access the trains if they ever come off the tracks down there, to be able to help them get to it, and the safety factor side of it. So maybe the idea is maybe we contact Tartaglia company and see what they have to add to it, because they might be able to put words in and say that it's dangerous, being there's no access to the train if there's ever an issue out there.
Yeah, I mean, Big Moose Big Moose is, they're the ones who respond. They got like a trail car and everything. It's pretty. Wow, how long it takes them to do that.
Nobody's allowed to use the tracks of the high rail. But how do they allow the railroad people to use the bike things?
It's part of the railroad.
Yeah, but is it or isn't it? You know what I mean? There's a fine line.
It's money.
I'm sure they do, but it's something to maybe tag in and actually pull the railroad instead of everybody shunning the railroad for so many years.
Like I said,
drag the railroad in on it.
Yeah, he said in his 67 years, this is the most isolated he's ever felt and been with that. And this is all changed. They've been dealing with it. They've been adapting. But this has all changed since they got this letter in 2024. That's all. The beginning of 2024.
And I can tell you from a planning board standpoint, we've had multiple things come up out there. We can't do a site visit. We can't get there. 75 miles to try to get around. It's an issue all the way around, and it's something that actually, and on the planning board side, we've been trying to figure out, try to do it. So maybe we can all tag in to help with that. That would be really something to look forward to.
Just letting you know, Garrett, I have asked 20-something years ago about a trail alongside them tracks.
Yep.
I've been pushing it.
Yeah,
There is a swamp area that's
I
up
think
there.
it's one voice versus 50 voices is going to be better.
Unfortunately, that's really the problem. There's that swamp area that's
That's a tough one.
forever wild and it's wetlands and,
Well,
it's a shame.
it can be done, but the Woods Lake people can be talked to about this, and but if they don't, then you got to deal with that
You got
water
you
hole.
got one small piece of property that's holding up the whole.
It is.
Yeah,
And it certainly would be beneficial, not only for people, but for fire access. And, I mean, Big Moose Beaver River is not part of the fire district. They do not pay taxes
Correct.
to the fire district. So it drives their fire insurance screaming high because they have no fire protection.
Correct.
Okay, so we have the rail car. We're getting a new rail car. The state of New York is putting on the running gear. We purchased the truck. for rescue purposes. We can haul in portable pumps, but we can't send big fire trucks in there. I
Yeah.
mean, there is no access.
No.
Could they bring them over on a barge? Well, yeah, maybe, but by the time you do all that, it's over with. I mean,
Yeah.
the building's gonna be on the ground. So, the rail car that we're running and the new one we're getting, before we can even put it on the rails, we have to call into the dispatch center, and I believe it's in Buffalo. And there is a radio in the truck that we can actually talk to the railroad to get permission. We have to get permission for us to put our rail car on the rail. Now, we pretty much know when the train is running and when it isn't, but there's always a possibility that they might have a work crew out there with another rail car or dump truck or something. So we have to call in and get permission to go on the rails, even in an emergency, before we can put our truck on the rail.
Correct.
So there are hoops you have to jump through. Because it is an active railroad.
And for the record, this has got nothing to do with pulling tracks up or rail trail, just so everybody knows.
I don't think you're gonna see that happen.
Yeah,
with
just,
all the
that's all. I
buildings
don't even want to
just
get into that
going
discussion. I just want to make that clear for, and then the other thing I have is, we just moving on, we'll talk more about that when the assembly talk and all that, but we heard back, I heard back from the lawyer on the whole zoning update, and, everything is in motion. It all looks good, should be ready by the end of the week, and I'm super excited about it. I've been asking about it every single meeting, and it's been a year. I've got a bunch of emails here that I've went through, and it's good stuff. The last part of it was that STR cap we had talked about in our residential village zones, and I think it's a good time for all this. Some people have talked recently about the master plan being done. We had a little scare there where there were some rumors out there that we were putting the zoning update off until the master plan was done. And we're like, whoa, wait a second. That's going to be a long time, a couple of years. So, at this time, I would just like to make a motion to schedule a public hearing for January 13th, 2026 for the update on the zoning.
You gotta wait for the, did he give you any paperwork?
Yeah. He emailed back today. Should be ready by the end of the
Nice
week.
if I'd had it. We really can't. Can you pass it down? I don't have anything to do a motion with.
Is that what was emailed?
I've got an email right here that I got today. It said, and all the actual zoning update. This is basically it. He was just getting that wording in with the STR cap. So
Right, so I don't have the resolution. So do you have the resolution now? That's what I'm
I'd
asking.
like to make a
You have it in
motion.
writing though. From him is what I'm asking. One from him I'm asking. Or you're just making it yourself?
I'm making a motion
Okay.
to schedule.
So you don't have it in writing
I'm
from
making a
him,
motion to
that's what I-
schedule a public hearing for January 13th, 2026 to go over the zoning law, to review the zoning law. And it should be ready by the end of the week, and then
Right, because
can be reviewed, and it'll be, hopefully ready for
he's
any questions or anybody might have on that day.
Right. And the public hearing is the way to do the next step.
Yeah, we're not, nothing's,
Will the public have access to that before the public hearing?
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Don, just so you know, I was told that we're gonna probably need 3 bids for professional help for the master plan update. Actually spoke to Nan Stolzenberg yesterday. She's actually gonna submit us a bid now, so I'll have it, submit that for next month. And that way we'll have it going in where we have 1 done out of the 3. So that way things are moving forward.
We still need a second and all that. I don't know.
I'll second that motion then to bring in that public hearing,
Are you doing 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
get this thing moving.
Anything else?
Yeah, there might still be some public might have some issues with it. We get some changes going. It might even take, I'm not saying it's gonna get approved, right? Why we're doing it.
You never know.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Councilman Ross?
Oh, yes,
You have to vote on
We
it.
have to vote on it.
Oh, yeah.
Roll call vote.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Yep.
Councilman Lindsay.
Aye.
Councilman Hannah.
Aye.
Councilman Greco.
Aye.
Councilman Ross.
Aye.
Councilman Ross.
Yep, I had a call from a concerned citizen today from Big Moose, and he had some interesting comments. One of which is a cell tower, which I don't really know much about what they're trying to do up there, but he said that there was land available, and that's basically all I know about that, so let's look further into that. He also had some interesting concerns about what the county does for the town of Webb. And I know where he's going with it, understand what he's thinking, as we all do. And I basically had to tell him there's answers to that, and I can't really get into it because I don't know a lot of the answers other than we've been told things that probably need to be told again. But basically, I think like we all feel that we deserve more from the county. That basically sums it up. So, and I told him I would look into it for him. Also, I was told that I was going to be the chair of the signs for our trails. And I was gone for the weekend, so I'm going to start now. I'm going to throw together some sort of committee. And right now, I'm going to say it's going to be me, Mike Farmer, and Jeff Abriel. I don't know who else will be interested, but we'll work on that and get that rolling. Shouldn't be a big deal. Because I do know that Jeff, who is the trails guy now, the department head, he's already looked into how high they need to be, how big they need to be, where they need to be. He's already done a lot of research, so there is regulations for all that stuff. And the only other thing I have this evening, I just wanted to thank the folks that supported me in this past election. And for those that didn't, I'm very passionate about this position, and I'm going to work hard at doing what I do. So I care about this community very much. So thank you.
Thank you,
That's
Mike.
it.
Thanks, Mike. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate Supervisor-elect Tommy Greco. Mike, looking forward to continuing working with you both. Judy, congratulations. I look forward to working with you as well. On to the next thing, I would like to thank Hannah Wheaton, our rec director, Casey, and all the guys that helped out at the rink as well. That went up really quick, and it looks really good. So excited about that. It's cold. It's cold. It's good.
Start freezing.
All the departments are getting winter ready, and as you can see, winter is, I think, here for the most part. Thursday night, myself, Councilman Ross, Robin Hill, and Rec Director Hannah Wheaton will be attending the Wattis Gala in hopes that we're going to receive some grant funding for some lights down at North Street, shed, some picnic tables, some ADA compliant water fountains down there, and I think there's a scoreboard or two involved as well. Nice. So waiting to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get something. Nancy, I'd like to thank you for everything. This is the last time I get to sit next to you.
I know, darn.
Thank you for everything that you do. Dawn, congratulations as well. And that's pretty much all I have. Nancy, what would you like to do?
Okay, we have a new liquor license for PCBNY 315 LLC, Red Dog Tavern, at 2682 South Shore Road.
Did you buy it?
Brand new. That's a FYI. I have a note that was read at, I think the budget hearing was read, the supervisor wanted it reread. During our recent recreation budget hearing, the town board supported moving forward with the installation of temporary skating rink boards. This project is being done within the existing budget. No additional funds are being pulled from anywhere. Thanks to Hannah's careful management and her budget coming in under projections, there are available funds with recreation to make this possible. The purpose of installing these boards is to enhance the community skating experience and to see whether there's interest in developing a full arena in the area. The boards are temporary and movable, giving us flexibility to test the layout. A permanent location has not been decided. To ensure the boards are secure, braces will be installed to hold them in place. No departments have been pulled off any fall duties. This has truly been a team effort with staff from various departments working towards
working during their slower days to help bring this fun winter activity. We're excited to see families and residents enjoy the rink this season. Another example of teamwork and good budgeting can create more recreation opportunities for our community. And we're still looking for planning and zoning board members, so if anybody's interested, send me a letter.
Come on.
That's what I got. What?
The doctor was too. Oh, you put that, sorry. Sorry. All right, members of the assembly, please state your name for the record. Anyone got anything they'd like to say? Ron?
Ron DeBrey. I listened to the talk about the rail trail and access to Beaver River, and the name keeps coming up. Her name is Ann Brewer. She was the publisher and founder of, what's the magazine?
Local ADK.
Local ADK, which I think she may have sold, but she grew up there. Her father died in a plane crash. Maybe it was a plane crash from the airfield up there, or maybe it was a seaplane, but I think he died on Stillwater in a plane crash about 15 years ago. She's still involved in Beaver River. I think her family still has a camp also down in White Lake area. She used to 20 years ago. Mountain Man, we used to party there when we went cross-country skiing at Egypt Road. If you could get her helping, if anybody in here knows her, I can probably find her on the phone, talk to her, and maybe get somebody in touch with her. She might be a good inside track to helping get a trail on that 50-foot right-of-way following the railroad.
Thanks. Thank
Take
you.
all the help
Yep,
we can
for
get.
sure.
I know about 5 years ago, I introduced her to the gal who was in charge of the rail bikes from Fender Station. And that led to an article in her magazine about the rail bike stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big help.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Anybody else? Mary?
Just quickly, I don't know if anybody can answer this. I didn't know Bonnie wasn't gonna be here. She may be the only one with the information, but I was looking for information or an update about the grant that was submitted for the senior center. Haven't heard anything since. It's been a couple of months. Did you guys,
I haven't heard anything.
I don't think we've got
She's
any.
waiting to hear. I think it's gonna be in the next month, is what she said.
what was it? Sorry.
I think in the next month, she said.
Because there had been some kind of a date given when they would hear, and I just wondered.
Yeah, I don't know. She talked about
December
it
then?
last week, but I can't remember what.
I did ask her
Yeah,
questions
sure.
about Mary, and she said she'd fill me in, but I left for a few days.
Thank you. Linda?
Linda Will, I know there are community garden members here, and the community garden is planning a perishable food giveaway. They are looking for both monetary donations, which can be submitted to the Health and Wellness Fund, Community
Health and Wellness Fund.
Community Health and Wellness Fund. They're being sent to the library where we're collecting them and also put in the Dropbox there. The goal is to provide people who sign up by a couple days from now, by Thursday, with a bag with chicken, beef, and a lot of seasonal vegetables.
All fresh foods.
Fresh produce. I know the only thing that's not fresh is shelf-stable milk. I know because I have purchased the shelf-stable milk through another grant. All of the food insecurity and food security resources have mobilized in a major way all throughout the Adirondack Park and in the valley as well. Our community, I know the library sent out an email I think yesterday. It's been a long couple of days, but we sent out something with all of the signups that are out there, with all of the needs that are being met. If anybody has needs, certainly I would not hesitate to contact the library. We'll point you in the right direction discreetly. And I also always like to plug Craft Night. Tomorrow's my favorite one. I've been waiting forever. We're making a pie garland, which means we take felt and cut it to look like pie slices, like little pennants, right? That will be festive for all of the holiday season, Thanksgiving
Oh, Garland.
All of the faiths and festivities like pie, and I like pie, and I really like craft night. I like listening to the '80s music with all my friends, and I hope that some of you will join us and cut pie out of felt and hang it in your homes.
Oh, my grandson will be there.
Linda. Anybody else?
Try the grape salad.
Okay.
Greetings from the fire district and the members of the fire department, Fort Eagle Bay and Big Moose. I want to thank everyone for a wonderful summer. We got through it. Now we're getting ready for the winter season, getting our snowmobiles ready, getting geared up for winter rescue. We had a meeting in Big Moose to look over their fire truck. We've been talking about replacing it. It is 27 years old. We met with some engineers and salesmen, and there's a good possibility we can remount the back of the truck. It is in excellent shape. There's no corrosion, no rust. It's got all the good stuff, the bent and roll up doors, and if we can remount it, and they were taking measurements and stuff, going from a standard cab to a crew cab so we can carry 4 people. We can save about $200,000.
Wow.
And we'll get the truck back in 9 months compared to 2 years if we order a new one. So it's a good possibility that might be able to be done. It would all be repainted. Any issues that we have with the box would be taken care of. And we were talking about mounting a deck gun on the top, piping it to the pump. The pump is a gnarly pump. It is, yes, 27 years old, but they still make the same exact pump. So getting parts for it down the road should not be a problem. Putting a winch on the front with big bumper and grill guard. So we're working on that. For the month of October, we had, Old Forge had 9 fire calls. 6 were automatic alarms. 1 motor vehicle accident, 1 standby, and we're at 111 calls for the year. We're up a little from last year. On the 28th of November, will be Christmas on Main Street. We will be involved in the parade. And on the 12th and 13th of December, we will be doing the Snow Deal Kitchen.
What time's the parade?
5
Christmas, 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
Sorry.
all members of the
Nice.
department are supposed to be at the station by 4:45. Okay. We have a BFO course, which is Basic Firefighter Operation class going. And they've been going down now for 2 months. They got 1 more month of training. All new members have to take it if it's in the area. So a group of guys have been going down to take this. New members have to take it. So a group of the new members have been going down to take this class. They have about a month left. Tonight is the department drill. On the 18th is the district drill. And on the 13th is our fire district meeting, which is open to the public. Anybody that would like to attend, more than welcome. Ask any questions you like. We'll answer everything we can. If you have concerns about fire protection or what we're doing, more than welcome to come and ask questions. Okay, that's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
That was short.
John, sorry, Robin, I'll get you next.
Yeah, I've got a few lengthy things.
All right, Robin?
So I was down in Utica earlier this week, I don't know, a couple days ago. I happened to see the Mohawk Valley Living magazine, and on the front cover was this great story and photos about all the emergency responders and fire departments that serve the Mohawk Valley. And they had little profile stories about, spotlights on different organizations. And I was disappointed that Old Forge Ambulance Corps, which is part of the Mohawk Valley, was not mentioned. So I actually called the editor and had a long conversation with her about Old Forge Volunteer Ambulance Corps and the fact that they're also part of this Rural Healthcare Partners pilot program with Mohawk Valley Health System. And I was encouraged to hear that she would be contacting them and planning a future article, which I thought would be great to bring
Great.
awareness to a great organization that's been around here forever, that serves a lot of people throughout the year, so.
That's great. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah, huge.
Bagels and blood pressure. Thursday, bagels and blood pressure. At the ambulance, 3 bagels, blood pressure.
Get your blood pressure before the day.
Yeah, John Khalil, I just have a few things I'd like to share with the board and the public tonight. I'd like to start out with some really good news. I had the opportunity this weekend to meet up with some friends and was having a conversation with them about the importance of this community getting a new police dog. And within 24 hours, I received a check for $3,200 that I'm going to be giving to the PBA, which I think is really cool. These folks, they're a couple that are second homeowners here in the community and snowmobilers. It underscores the importance of working cooperatively with the snowmobile community and second homeowners. They wish to remain anonymous, but they felt very compelled to do this, and was kind of surprised myself when the husband called me up and he says, look, he said, where are you going to be? He says, I got a check for you, so make sure you take it and bring it to the town. And again, just we want to be anonymous, but we look forward to doing this to help out the town. So
Thank you.
Thank you to the anonymous donators.
Yeah.
It's still a process in the works right now. I did send a letter of intent to the Town Supervisor Bonnie Baker last week. There's a $60,000 grant on the table right now. Grant deadline is December 4th. So I'm trying to get this moving forward. I've got a grant writer on standby right now, but her deadline's November 21st.
Okay.
So if we're going to move forward with it, we need to no sooner than later.
What's the grant for, Chief?
So the canine we'd be purchasing and training would be for explosive detections and tracking. So the explosive detections, what the grant is for, it's through the DISH's, Homeland Security, Emergency Services. So it's a $60,000 grant to start the program, and it's an additional $15,000 a year, as long as we meet the proper criteria. And the tracking would be the second thing we would use it for. Like Saturday night, they had a hunter, ended up getting lost. Our officers were out there till 3:30 in the morning with the Rangers. Couldn't find the hunter. Luckily, the hunter was found safe the next morning about 10 a.m. and no injuries or anything like that. Having a tracking dog, not guaranteeing that we'd be able to locate that hunter quicker, but it's a better chance. I do want to, hopefully we can get this moving.
The November 21st, that's the deadline for your grant writer that you talked to on standby to submit, or by you said it, her?
The application deadline is December 4th.
Yeah. She needs to get started by then.
The writer needs it done by the 21st because she's got the obligations at the end of the month and the beginning of December.
Yeah, so we'd have to talk about that now, and I know Bonnie's not here, but Kyle's, and any of us can.
I'm for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Would we have to make a motion to?
You do the grant first.
Gotta do the grant first.
yeah.
You can sign the grant.
Yeah. Go for it.
We can move forward.
Yeah, move forward with it.
He can sign the grant.
We don't need a resolution like that.
No, not unless we are awarded the money.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, go for it.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, Kyle, I just want to wrap up.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to ask the board tonight, I had a request from some snowmobilers to see if it is at all possible if a banner can be put up at the gate around Trail 1 that says Town of Webb welcome snowmobilers, along with 2 American flags, one to be placed on each side of the bridge. If the town cannot afford these things, the resources are there to pay for these and provide these to the town. At the very least, if the town would be willing to consider putting up such a banner and obviously having a say in the banner and the wording and installing the flags along the bridge would be very much appreciated. I don't know if you have to make a motion for that or if that's something that can be decided by your Trails Committee, let me know, but we can work out those details.
I would have no idea how to go about it, to be honest. I mean, size banner, where it's going, all that stuff
Yeah, all
has
those
to be
details,
all.
obviously, I haven't gone down and measured the gate or anything, but I just wanted to bring this up tonight since it was brought to my attention and the resources that are.
Planning board as far as size and-
Planning board, right? We
Yeah.
have planning board involved.
You don't, if it's on town property, you don't really have to have permission from the planning board.
There's our answer.
Thank you, John.
Talk about that. And the last thing, I do have a prepared statement. I want to read some of it. Some of it I'm going to paraphrase, but while preparing in the final phase of my recent candidacy, I wanted to familiarize myself with town policies in order to gain somewhat of an understanding of some of the ethical responsibilities that I would be subject to if I was elected. What considerations, boundaries, things like that I'd be obligated to, what disclosures were required. And what I had done is I requested code of conduct, ethics guide, information for elected officials. I had received excerpts, and I was kind of shocked to see that these were last updated in 1970. It's kind of fascinating looking at some of the history. And last adopted in the handbook in 2011. And I feel that it's my civic responsibility to bring this up tonight, share some of these findings with the board. While I'm not an attorney, municipal law, Article 18, basically has two components. One is the state standards, and the second is the responsibility of the municipality to adopt a code of ethics containing standards for town officers and employees to follow concerning conflicts of interest, nepotism, gift provisions, and what constitutes mandatory recusal. Interesting enough, in both the handbook and the codes, it was kind of neat to see that there was a two-tier classification which delineated between town employees and then town, which essentially is public officials, elected officials, appointed officials. But ironically, all of the standards as they are published in current town documents seem to only apply to town employees and not to anyone else other than town employees. I share that with the town because obviously the intent, if you read some of the what's evolved with municipal law 18, article 18, the idea is to keep the public's faith and trust in government. And again, not to scare anybody, not to cause a panic, and in no way am I insinuating anything about anyone here tonight. This is all stuff that goes way back. But I think I would implore the town, the board, to get familiar with these if you're not already, and possibly get them reviewed by an attorney for any adjustments that have to be made to the wording. Because I think you'd find when you look at it, it's quite primitive. And the ramifications for the town itself by not having this stuff up to snuff in terms of what it should be and what the intent of Article 18 is are pretty serious. I won't get into what they are, but it's again, it's a fascinating read, just familiarizing yourself with it, and something completely unexpected that I had never thought that I was going to come across, and just found it kind of intriguing reading through some of these policies and what we're currently in place. So I wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks.
Anybody else? With that being said, can I get a motion to pay the audit of claims?
So move.
All right, second?
I'll second. It doesn't matter. Tom.
Tommy? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second it.
Mike? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Kyle, nice job, Kyle.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
That's coming already.